Hi, everybody. My name is Mike Manning.
And I'm Trinity French.
And we are your business coaches at Wired to Change.
With the number 2.
We are here to help you grow your business to the level you want it to be so you can enjoy the life of a small business owner.
And it is an amazing day because we are sitting here and you're listening to us. And my friends, it is episode number 100.
Yay for us.
I think I'm way more excited about this than anybody else. So excited that I brought champagne.
Yes.
We are drinking, and we brought the team that is so important to the success of our podcast. We have Drago here with us today, saying hi from the soundboard.
The wizard, yes.
The wizard behind the curtain.
Yep.
And we have some very, 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 very special guests. Miss Becky Manning.
Yay.
Say hi, Becky.
Hello.
And for those of you that don't know or haven't listened so far and just joining us for episode number 100, this is Mike's wife. We're so excited.
Yay.
Yes.
Finally.
Yes.
She's very excited to be here.
I'm sure I'm the infamous wife.
She's afraid she might embarrass me. I'm like, I don't think so.
No,
Yeah.
I'm afraid I'll embarrass myself.
I don't
Well,
think so.
I say an embarrassing thing on pretty much every episode,
Yeah.
so
Perfect.
you will
Thank
fit
you.
right in. And then we also have Mr. Scott French,
Yay.
Yay.
my husband.
Our
Hi,
first
baby.
repeat
Hi,
guest.
Yes, welcome
Oh,
back.
I feel special.
Yeah.
You are special.
All right.
So we wanted to bring our spouses on today because this show is all about us, which we don't do very
I'm
often.
good with that.
And we wanted to give a huge shout out and a huge extra special thank you to Drago
Yep.
with Purple Comma, because he is the most amazing podcast producer on the planet. And if anyone out there in listener land is thinking about starting a podcast, wanting to change who you're doing your podcast with because your studio isn't as cool as ours, you should hit Drago up and definitely check us out because this space is
PurpleComma.com.
amazing.
We literally walk in and sit down, and he hits record, and we start.
yeah.
It cannot get any easier.
It is super easy, and it's a really awesome studio. And these microphones make us feel really professional.
I sound taller.
I sound like I don't have stubby legs.
God. So go back to episode 99 and just listen. I don't know the timestamp on the stubby legs, but
Yep.
Trinity thinks she's got stubby legs. She doesn't. She just has a long torso, which Scott fell in love with. But
Agreed.
it doesn't mean she has stubby legs.
Yes. So I have some fun stuff prepared for this episode.
Oh, this is tailor-made for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So the first thing that is we're going to go back and we're going to rehash a couple of old episodes. I asked Mike to prepare what was his favorite episode. I figured out what my favorite episode was. And Scott, our loyal listener, is also going to share what his favorite episode is. And Becky, I know that you're not as much of a loyal listener yet, but now you're going to be hooked because it's so much fun.
I've been listening. I've
Good.
gone back and listened more
Yay.
than I should. I know. I feel bad. I'm terrible. I'm an awful wife, aren't I?
Well, I mean, you probably hear Mike talk a shit ton at home anyways.
Kind of talking all day. So,
Yeah.
you know.
You're like, the last thing I want to do is put in my earbuds and listen to more Mike.
And he does come home and kind of give me the cliff notes, of what happened.
Of what happened in the
yeah.
show?
So, I feel like I know what's going
Becky's
on.
office is upstairs and mine is downstairs, so she can close her door. But I've learned there's Zoom calls and then there's Zoom calls with friends. And when I know I have a Zoom call with friends, I'll tell her, I think I'm probably going to get loud on this one. May want to shut the door because it's business, mostly personal. The other ones are a little personal, mostly business. And my voice, because I get fired up on the
Gets
friends.
even
like with
louder.
Michelle from episode 99.
Yeah.
When we get on these Garner Chamber calls and we're just, yucking it up.
So, Becky, do you ever hear Mike editing the podcast?
Yeah, well, he usually has his earbuds in.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right.
but I have, and in the very beginning when you were editing, I would sit there and listen and he would edit, and I'm like, yeah, I would have done it that way.
That's why he puts his earbuds in now.
So I don't think you wanted to hear that anymore.
Here's why I put the earbuds in, because I edit at 6 in the morning.
He does.
She wakes up when I'm done, so I don't want to wake her up. I want her to sleep, so because she enjoys sleeping in, and I enjoy getting up.
Yeah, I'm the night owl, and he is. Yeah, he gets up at 4:30 in the morning. That's not me.
Love it.
It goes for his old man walk.
I do.
He does.
It'll keep you living longer than all of us.
The only thing I have to worry about is dodging the damn paper boy in his car. He runs through there at 40 miles an hour. I'm like, dude, come on. I
You're
just
still a
laugh,
paper boy. That's the surprising part.
That is really weird.
Well, I say paper boy. I'm 59. Scott's
Everyone's
the
a
paper
paper
boy.
boy.
So if I can be your dad, you're the paper boy. You know what I'm saying?
So we're going to rehash a couple episodes.
Yes.
And then we have probably some of the most fun questions that our listeners have ever asked of us that we're going to answer on air. And I asked for some questions and we got bombarded with a ton of them. So I don't think we'll make it through all of the questions today. It might make a good follow-up episode, but we've got some doozies.
Good. All right,
All right.
fire away.
All right. So first off, Mr. Manning.
Yes, ma'am.
Coach Mike.
Stop. When Trinity she wants me to wear the coach in
Shorts.
Daytona, who was the AD.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, she wants me to wear those with
bike
the
shorts.
with the whistle
With
and
the
the
whistle
hat.
and the hat, yeah.
they have it. I
My
told
dad
her,
used to wear that when
Yes,
I played
exactly.
football as a kid. His
exactly.
coach's shorts.
I
Yeah.
told her I will wear that when I see her face on the side of a bus.
That sounds like a deal. That sounds
She
like a
will
plan.
not do that at all. She will not do that at all.
As much as he's coached, he has never worn those shorts and never would, I don't think. So if you can get your name on the side of a bus, that'll.
I'm thinking Halloween costume this year.
As soon as your face goes on the side of a bus, I'm game.
Perfect. I
Good.
will dress up as a bus.
With your stubby legs.
with just a face sticking out from a big piece of cardboard.
side of the
Interesting.
bus.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I think that meets the
There
criteria.
you go.
There you go.
Perfect. Halloween costumes. Check. I need to start building that sucker now. Mike,
Yes.
thinking back over the last year, what has been your favorite podcast that we've recorded?
It was actually one you were not part of.
My favorite's one
Yeah.
you weren't part of.
I know. Yeah. Which it should be.
Perfect.
Episode 3 was Susie Silver. When I got to ask her, Susie's very big in the LGBT community, and I, as a heterosexual male, I know of that world. I don't know it at all. And she allowed me for 45 minutes to ask any question I wanted. I told her it was going to be clunky, but they were from the heart because I wanted to know pronouns. I don't understand that. Not that I'm for or against or whatever. I just don't understand it. So she allowed me to ask whatever question I wanted to. She was wonderful with the responses. She was very nice explaining the why and putting things into context. And I love those uncomfortable interviews. And it wasn't uncomfortable, but the subject was, I don't know anything about this. So I love that. And since then, I've introduced her to Dr. Holly. And to Sherry McManus, and they're going to have her as part of their diversity panels when they do stuff. So I love doing that stuff, but it was that episode where Susie, I want the politics, sex, religion portion of the party corner. That's where I want to hang out.
Right.
And I loved that interview.
That's awesome.
Yep.
I wish that I could have been here to be a part of that, but
I don't know.
She is one of my favorite humans. I adore her, and I'm glad that you guys got to spend so much quality time together.
And that would have been interesting with because we're slightly different in age. We're from 2,000 miles apart.
Slightly.
And just your take on some of the things she was talking about, just what you think of pronouns. And she does not refer to the kids as boys. They're kids. And if you ever read her stuff, she never refers to Anne. It's always my wife. So just understanding, all that and what she does for the kids in that community, unreal.
Yeah.
And they trust her because she's there. I mean, she knows what they're going through because she had to come out. And she talked about how difficult a path she had with her family. And everybody's kind of coming around.
So would you say that she was your favorite guest that you've interviewed so far?
Yes, because it was a world I did not know.
Mm-hmm.
And I do love that she talked about the story about how she got together with her wife and that whole story. I was really,
She walked by her room one day.
Yeah.
She goes, "Yeah, how'd you meet?" She goes, "Well, I walked by the room one day, and they're both teachers at Cary High School." She goes, "I walked by the room one day, and I'm like, kind of looked in, or heard her voice, heard her name, heard about the, and so me stopped. I'm like, so you went back and did a ooh, and she said, "Yeah, kind of." Because hey, the heart wants what the heart wants,
Well, and episode 33 is actually when we started bringing on guests. So we had 32 episodes prior to that. And for those of you that are just tuning in or started listening halfway through, you really should go back and listen to episodes 1 through 32 because those are the foundational pieces of how to start and be in business, which I think is great for any small business owner that wants some great nuggets. But we started bringing on guests, episode 33. My favorite guests, because I couldn't break a 3-way tie.
See, no.
What?
There are no 3-way ties. That's like, I don't want to answer.
My episode, my rules. No, I'm joking.
Okay, you win.
I loved the episode with Holly, Dr. Holly Solinger. We had a blast. I felt like we were just kindred spirits, and
I knew you would.
She was awesome. I also really loved our interview with Deborah Mathias for a completely different reason because I learned so much about LinkedIn. I thought I was a, kind of okay LinkedIner, but once we talked with her, it was like, oh my gosh, there's so much more that I could be doing.
You feel like you've never heard of LinkedIn.
Yes, I'm
I'm bad
dang
at
it. Exactly. And from a personal standpoint, I loved my conversation with Anders Varner because we really dug into a lot of issues that I've been having with balancing life and fitness and staying healthy. So those were my 3 favorite guests.
And with good reason.
Yep. And my favorite episode ever was episode 13 when we talked about how to be a good networker. And I think that was a really fun episode because that is Mike and I both share woo as one of our strengths from the StrengthsFinder.
I knew
You've
you
heard?
did. I've heard. Yep. It's 'cause you
I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I got it.
Well, it makes us very good networkers.
It does,
and
yes.
I would say that Mike is the super connector, super networker. So for those of you who have not listened to that, go back, check out episode 13 because you have been teaching people about networking. And just this little side note about something that happened with one of our clients today. So Mike and I do the majority of our coaching calls together because a lot of our clients choose to coach with both of us, which is so unique. I don't know of any other coaching company that does 2-on-1 coaching. But some of our clients choose to coach with just one of us, which is totally okay. And occasionally we have clients that for one reason or another, one of us coaches. But today we were both on a coaching call with one of our clients, and then Mike had to hop off, which we'd already known that he wasn't going to be able to the whole thing. But after you left, I got goosebumps because our client was so complimentary of you. And also basically said that I'm taking credit for you because I'm your business partner, but that you had really changed how she looks at networking, and it took something that she wasn't certain of and made her excited and passionate about it. And now she's seeing the results of it working from what you've taught her, which is just amazing. So Coach Mike, you might not have your golden whistle yet, but someday you're going to have it.
If she wears a bus, I'm going to hit you, Scott. But those are the aha moments. That's what I love.
Those are, yeah. And you've always said that you love those aha moments. And she had so many ahas today that it was just, I'm getting goosebumps right now just talking about it because it makes what we do really meaningful.
And she comes from the corporate world, so there's phrases and Ivy League words. I'm like, no, come down to my level. And we narrowed it down to customer retention. I'm like, right there, stop. And I said, okay, customer retention, write down what you do for that, what it means to you, and then lop off 5 words because you've already used 5 too many. Pick the 5 you want, but take them off.
Yep.
And that's short of a sentence. But when she said customer retention and customer service, like right there.
That's it. That's all you need.
Because she was using all these phrases in the corporate world that meant that. Well, just say that. You're in the small business world now. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Love it. Yeah.
you
And she
made
got
a
it. Yep.
you made a huge impact on her, and it was pretty cool that you left, because I don't know that she would have shared that had you been on the
good
call
to know.
with us. So
Thank
it was awesome.
Thank you.
Aren't you proud of your husband?
I am always proud of my husband.
And he has grown as a coach, like
I
leaps
am.
and
Yeah.
bounds. And it's been really fun to see not only the progress that our podcast, because our podcast has been growing, but also to see how we have transformed over the last year in our business as well.
Yeah, I didn't realize what I knew and what I could share, and a lot of that is pulling from different businesses, different jobs, people you know, and all of a sudden you start saying it's like, I kind of do know this a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we're wired so different that I tell people we are ages apart. We are miles apart where we grew up. Just you're a nerd for systems and processes. Boots on the ground, use small words for me because that's what people are going to understand. But I tell people we always, when working with a client, we always meet at the middle of the table because at the end of the day, it's about them.
It is.
And so that's what I love about what we do. So, yep, I'm a fan. And I thank you for what I'm learning from you. I still won't refer to my StrengthsFinder, but I know I have woo.
You will at some point.
I'll show it to you, but I doubt I do. I have woo. That's all I needed to know. It confirmed what I knew. I like to talk. $50 they charged me to tell me I like to talk.
I could have told you
25.
that. You could have paid me.
Shut up down there.
I referred to your StrengthsFinder a lot today in my coaching session.
Yes,
so.
you did. Yep.
And she loved going through her StrengthsFinder.
She did.
So
And it was good for her to know. Yeah.
It was,
Oh, yeah.
and it was really helpful. And she has learned a lot about herself and what she's looking for.
We made a big difference on how she's approaching interviews
Yes.
and finding the job she wants. I'm very pleased.
And
with
one of the things that has opened up from this, because we love business coaching, but we've been doing a lot more career counseling and career coaching recently because so many people are pivoting during COVID.
Yep.
And it's something that we wasn't in our original business plan to go after that market, but it has sort of found us because of what we do, which has been a lot of fun to work with the people that are looking to make a career change or that just are unhappy and don't know where they want to go.
And we've hired enough people and we've fired enough people that we kind of have an
Yep.
understanding of what you need to get in that room to have that interview and what you need to look for and what you need to ask them. Don't walk in thinking, all right, I'm ready for your questions. No. You're going in with 5 of your own because you got to interview them, make sure you're a fit. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So, Scott,
Yeah.
honey,
Hi.
what was your favorite episode?
Well, it's funny you should say that because
It was one that Mike was in and I wasn't.
No,
Oh, I thought for
that
sure.
would have been great. No, my favorite episode was episode 94, talking about StrengthsFinder.
You like that stuff too?
Well, it's funny because when Trinity and I first started dating the first time, I think we'd gone on like 2 dates. She had me take the StrengthsFinder test while we were dating.
Oh, I believe
did.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you did it.
I did, of course.
Oh, that's an easy yes.
I was like,
Oh.
you want me to take a test to date
do
you?
whatever
Okay,
you
I'll do
want.
it.
Yes, that's what we guys do when we like a girl early on. Lord.
Love it.
So I didn't know anything about it at the time, so I had taken it and was pretty intrigued and was kind of interested to see how it turned out. So it was really interesting when you guys actually used it for business purposes, not for personal reasons. And I found it very beneficial for to hear about what your strengths were, both of you, and also other people. I think other people would really benefit from that as well because it's something that you could very easily on your own go to the website. Sign up, take the test, and get that information for you. It's something you can immediately get something out
and it does give you insight. And what Trinity was telling our client today was what Trinity takes from that is, so now when you go into the interview, you ask them questions that set them up to ask you about your strength.
Yep.
Most people don't do that, and that's why Trinity is Trinity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a good episode. I like that one. Yeah.
It's-
And I
Can
like
you
how
make
you I
Becky
like how
take it?
you cross over. You had some
We have things that
were
are similar,
Yeah.
but we also know where our weaknesses are and where our gaps are. So as we grow as a company, we know who we need to bring on.
Yep.
And a lot of what I've done in the past with hiring and recruiting was making sure that the right people are in the right seats. And that is something that the StrengthsFinder assessment really hones in on, is how do you work with others and finding others that complement you. And at some points, there's just people that you purely can't work with because you're so far on opposite ends of the spectrum and there's no crossover. And that's when you just need to get out of those situations.
So you had to make sure Scott was in the right seat.
Right.
I did. I wanted to make sure that, one, was he willing to do something that is important
Easily.
to me? And
Love
you
it.
did. And I also knew that communication is important to me in whatever relationship that I'm in, whether it's my work husband or my husband, and how to talk to each other, because I wanted to know how his brain worked.
Yeah.
One of the other things that I really enjoyed about that is my brother started a new job a couple of years ago. And when he did, they required him to take that StrengthsFinders test. And then everybody had to keep on their desk that list. So when people walked up to see them, they would know what their strengths were. So they would know how to approach them, how to ask certain questions and things like that. And that was a company policy. So I thought, that was the first time I'd ever heard it. I thought it was a great idea.
Hey, number
Yeah.
24. No.
Well, I would not have guessed that was your favorite episode, but very cool.
I did guess that Anders would be your favorite episode.
Yes.
You did. Yes.
I was surprised it was 3, but if I had one to guess,
It
I
was
would have said
it was a
Anders.
tie. It was a tie, but I loved talking with him. I admire him from a business perspective and what he's done with Barbell Shrugged, and I also just really think that he's a really cool person. So it was a lot of fun.
And I wasn't there.
Yeah, and Mike wasn't there.
Bonus.
So who was your favorite guest?
Well, I'm going to kind of, I guess you would call this a little bit of nepotism. My favorite guest is one of my favorite humans who I have known longer than I've known Trinity. That would be Nikki Crow. Nikki Crow with the home inspector. She and I worked together at Global Knowledge years ago.
right,
That's
you
how I
did.
met her. And then she left to go do some. She went to go to work for Red Hat, I think is what it was. And she lasted, well, actually logged me in and then logged me in and to start the business with her husband. So it was pretty interesting. I don't know if I introduced you to Nikki, how that worked, but I know that you guys are close now, and I love hearing a different side of Nikki than I know. Like, I've known her personally for years, but to see her put that business hat on and to kind of go through that, I really, really enjoyed.
She is my networking wife. So when we are on networking events, we acknowledge to the crowd, husband and wife networking. Her Sparkles has been having car issues the last couple of days.
Sparkle J.
He works at Dunkin' Donuts. So at 4 a.m., Nikki's driving him up there. They got his car fixed. And she would text me. She goes, I almost drove in your neighborhood to see if I could catch you walking. Because she knows I walk and we live kind of down the road from each other. So, yeah, that's Nikki.
That's fine.
Yeah, and I did meet her through you.
Yeah, I thought so.
Absolutely. Which I appreciate. I mean, you've introduced me to some really freaking cool people.
I know a lot of really cool people.
You do. But now you know way more cool people since we started being
Touche.
together.
Yes, we do. You have introduced me to way more cool people than I've introduced to you. But it's not a competition. I'm just happy to
Oh,
meet
it's
a bunch
not?
of, a bunch of
Yeah, it is.
amazing people.
Because I'm keeping track.
I know you are. I
know
knew
that
it the
answer.
second I said it that you were going to say it.
Even Becky knew that answer, Scott.
So, Becky, what was your favorite episode that you've listened to?
It was probably the same episode.
The same
yeah,
one?
the one where you all discussed.
She does like
Yeah,
that stuff too. Yeah.
I do. I mean,
So-
I love that kind of stuff to find out, how are you wired?
Yeah.
And-
Was
and
there
Mike and I are totally
anything?
different.
Oh, God.
I want to see
Totally
yours.
I haven't done it.
You should.
We'll make it
It would be,
happen.
yeah.
But
Her birthday's
yeah,
coming
we
up.
are-
You can get
we
it for her birthday.
Perfect.
Yep.
And
I'm on
it's
it.
really good that we're wired the way we are because somebody has to be the adult in the room.
Here's
We could come back with our results and we could talk about the results of our
Oh, we
StrengthsFinder
could.
test
Yeah.
here.
That would
Yeah.
be very interesting because, you married us and
We
us crazy dreamers, us
Yeah.
crazy entrepreneurs.
your head out of the
that-
clouds,
Yep,
dumbass. Get back down on the floor.
Best decision I ever made.
Aw.
Me too.
Was there anything
sure.
in that episode that you didn't know about Mike that you learned?
We've been married 34 years.
Yeah.
There's not a
Yeah.
lot I don't know about him. I mean, yeah, sure, he does surprise me occasionally, but it was so spot on what you talked about that no, he just wants to talk all day. He wakes up talking. He goes to bed talking.
Every now and then, Cameron, our youngest son, will call us, and he's wound up, and he's talking. I'll hang up, and I'll look at Becky and go, now we know what you go through when I'm wired up.
And I just laugh.
Yeah. And she's thinking the whole time, you have no idea.
All right. So we have some questions from our listeners. And instead of Mike and I answering these questions,
Sweet.
we're going to quiz our spouses.
Oh, no.
And I'm just so curious to. Okay.
I just said I knew a lot about him. We're going to find out, aren't we?
I know nothing about my wife. I'm going to go ahead and say that ahead of time.
Can I reverse that?
So our first question, and this is a doozy, from Mr. Mike Allen, who actually also was on the show.
Young Mike,
he is
yep.
a young Mike. He is a listener, loves our podcast, and he wanted to know who wears the pants in our work relationship.
In ours?
Yep. And you can't answer this. This is for Becky and Scott.
Oh, Trinity does.
Absolutely,
For
100%. There is no two ways
There was
about
no
that.
hesitation for that.
sure. No, none.
I would say Mike does. He's
I
the,
think what you and I have learned is what stage is the project in.
yes.
That's what I would say.
Yeah.
You guys work really well together. You handle certain aspects, and then you hand off to him, and he does the same thing and hands off to you. So you guys really work really well together. But yeah, I have trouble saying anything other than my wife is in charge and whatever she's doing.
Smart man.
It is just because I talk louder.
I can talk pretty loud.
Yeah, you can.
I think you might make it to a year of being married with that attitude. You keep up the good work.
2 more weeks.
That's right. It's close, isn't
I
it?
know. I can't believe it's been a year.
I know.
It's right around the corner. Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
Exciting.
So, my next question for both of you, you don't have to answer at the same time. We'll go one by one. Is what do you enjoy most about being married to a small business owner? Gosh, I wish this was being recorded.
Wait, am I first?
Yep, you're first.
She's looking at you.
Yeah.
I can answer, but you.
He's home all
Boy,
day.
am
He
I
never
supposed
goes
to
anywhere.
enjoy this?
Yep.
I do love the flexibility. When he owned businesses, you get tied to that business.
Oh, that cleaning business, we couldn't go anywhere.
And it was difficult just to get time off to go do anything. And the fact that we can, travel or pick up and go somewhere, we're leaving this weekend, as a matter of fact, and he can take it with him. So, and especially in this Zoom world we're in now, it really makes it nice.
Love virtual now.
Yeah, and he was not a fan when this started, so it quickly won you over, didn't it?
He did?
Yeah.
But,
you kind of went at it kicking and screaming, and then
big
now
time.
you're the biggest fan.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm on 6 a day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
I mean, I know you still miss the in person because
I do.
there's there's an element to that
Yeah.
when you can be with somebody and kind of feed off each other. But I think Zoom is the next best thing. But
I'll walk by and do this. She'll go to somebody else.
go.
Yeah.
Go to meeting.
I agree with everything you
Yes.
said, other than that this is a Zoom world.
Yeah.
This is a go-to-meeting world.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Scott sells go-to meeting.
I'm so
Zoom
sorry.
is our biggest competitor.
That's all right. That's okay.
Bite my tongue.
You didn't know.
That's okay.
The virtual
You didn't
world.
know.
Yes.
Spend a little bit of time with me. I'll talk to you about how our product is so much better.
There you go.
They have a very good advertising and they love good marketing, and they let all the famous people have Zoom, and that's why it is now a verb.
Well, we're not here to talk about Zoom. We're here to talk about Mike and I.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny.
Focus.
It's funny that she said that, because I was going to say the same thing. I was going to say the fact that you could take your laptop and go work from anywhere, and then you've got people that can show houses for you and whatnot. So we could plan a trip and go off in the middle of the week, or go
went
off on any
camping.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to be able to do that is really, really interesting. I've never had that in a relationship before, and obviously before COVID, I was working a 7:30 to 4:30, 8:30 to 4:30 job, driving downtown every day. And it was nice to have the flexibility for us to be able for me to see her sometimes. I mean, we all know her. She works way more than the average bear does. So it's nice that she can, put down what she's doing and take time to do something else and then come back to it at any time and not to be tied down to regular office hours, I guess you would say.
And one of the more memorable parts of an episode we had was when Scott was on, just you two understanding, okay, what are the boundaries? I need rules. And it sticks with me. Because Trinity would come home and she gets in her zone, which she admits, and they both know that. And Scott's like, what time do you want to eat dinner? She's like, not now. And so he finally said one day, basically, if I ask you a question, I need an answer. It can be whatever it is, but I need an answer. And that has stuck with me the whole time. And we're going on 60. You're on episode 40 or something like that?
Something like that.
So we're going on 60, but that stuck with me but you understood where he was coming from.
Yeah.
And so now you give an answer.
I try to.
Yeah.
Mostly.
But you're ahead of the game. But I love that, how you work through a relationship like that. And because when she comes in the house and she knows this, she's on the phone, she's still 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, and to me, one of the most important things in a relationship is good communication. And we've talked about that from day one, and that was something that we struggled with at the very beginning, is for me to understand what she's going through, what she has to do, what's going on in her brain, unlike me, when she does something, she's focused singularly on that thing. For me, I can say, I can multitask, I can do two things, meaning if I'm doing something and she asks me a question, I can immediately stop and answer that question.
Right.
She doesn't do that. So we had to have that conversation to be like, okay, I'm in a holding pattern until I hear something from you. So if you can just say something, then I can move on doing what I'm doing. And after we had that conversation, now it works so much better.
And I would say that one of the other things that we had to work on too was him understanding, the level of stress that comes with running a small business, and that
or two.
And gosh, when we had our other podcast, it felt like 1,000. So glad that we,
Stop that one.
But we will go back. We're going to bring that back. But, the buck stops here. Like, we don't make money unless we're selling stuff. We are, when somebody complains, there's no one else to stick it to. It's us.
There's no HR. There's no customer service department.
It is all us. We are taking out the trash, sweeping everything up, and doing it all. So I really appreciate our spouses hanging in there with us, because I know that there are times when we're stressed out and you guys bear the brunt of it. So sorry, but thank you.
Thank you for acknowledging that.
Luckily for Becky, I go to bed at 8:12, so she's got the rest of the evening to herself.
He has 3-year-old hours.
Me and Oliver.
Seriously.
We wake up early, we go to bed early.
If I text Mike back at like 9:30 or 10 and he responds, I'm like,
what's wrong?
Something's wrong with Mike.
I'll be sitting there and I look down. I'm like, it is past your bedtime, and it's 9:20.
Yep.
That's her loving way of saying, get out of my room. I'm watching my ID shows.
No, I would never.
Do you have any questions for our spouses?
No, I'm good. You keep going with yours. Yeah.
Well, okay. So the next question is for us, Mike, from another one of our listeners. And it is, what is the most satisfying client experience that you've ever had?
With just me and you?
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, I guess it could be over the course of your entire career.
I would say when I first... Easy.
Actually, I said that question wrong. What's the most satisfying client evolution you have experienced?
Oh, same answer.
Okay.
We moved back here in 2009. And I say moved back. I grew up here, left in 1979, came back in 2009. And I took over the job of general manager at the AMF Bowling Center in Durham. When I first started, during the daytime, they have the senior leagues. You 20 in a league, 40 in a league maybe, and just, some of them are old.
That was the one you bowled in?
Trago, can you mute a mic, please? No, I thankfully did not bowl because I kept saying, if my back was better, I could, so I could heckle everybody. I wouldn't bowl. No way I'm bowling in front of them because then I couldn't heckle them anymore. And my staff, the first couple of weeks, are like, well, you don't want to go talk to the senior bowlers. I'm like, well, why not? And they go, well, they're mean. Well, it took me a day to figure out why they were mean because nobody said good morning to them.
Oh.
They wouldn't walk in, go sit down, shoot the breeze with them. Oh, yeah. So it took me about a week and a half, maybe a couple weeks to get to know the bowlers. And so when they walk in, man, I'm sitting down there with them in the morning just laughing. And the guys are telling lies and the women are laughing about the guys telling lies. But, yeah, I know why. It took me a little bit to figure out why they're mean. Just say good morning. So, yeah, that evolution
That's all it took.
And then those leagues grew because, again, it's customer service. They knew they were welcomed and wanted. Mm-hmm. And eventually we got the whole staff to hang out with them. And they're like, man, your staff's so good. I'm like, yeah.
I was thinking of a different example, but now that you bring that up, something similar happened to me when I worked at a golf and country club when I was in college.
You going to drop some famous names?
I've met so many famous people, and I have more embarrassing stories about meeting famous people and having no freaking clue who they are.
She is not Miss Pop Culture.
Yes, no. But on Tuesdays, no one ever wanted to work because it was ladies' golf day. And the ladies were notorious for being terrible tippers. It was very well known that if you worked on a Tuesday, you were gonna be out on the course. And I worked in the halfway house, which is a little hut that serves sandwiches and beer and whatever. And I was like, well, I'll take that shift. Like, at least it's money. And I did the same thing. I started being really nice to them. I started talking to them. I started chatting them up. They found out that I was in college and that I was going to be going to Malaga. And they started a Trinity's Malaga trip fund because they were like, you have to get some Malaga pearls. I'm like, I don't know what frickin' Malaga pearls are.
Did you just make that word up?
No.
What's Malaga?
Malaga is an island in Spain.
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's not, Malaga is a city in Spain, but Majorca pearls. Majorca, yeah.
My grandmother did go to Majorca.
Yeah, so Majorca is known for its pearls. I wanted to go to Majorca while I was there, so they created a trip fund for me. And I did not tell any of the other people working there because it was my cash cow. I was making more money on Tuesdays than the rest of the days of the week. So I just kept that as my little secret.
And the staff to themselves under their breath when you were there, dummy, why
is she busting her ass for all those ladies? Yeah. Oh, I loved the ladies. And because it's at the golf course, so I would see them, at dinner and whatever. And so my whole all my tips went up because they would be on their husbands to make sure that they tipped me really well. And it became like a thing, and it was great.
When did you tell the staff? Once you got back from the trip, or did you ever tell them?
No.
So they don't even know it to this day?
No. Well, maybe
she's
if
holding
they're
it in her
listening
pocket in case she wants to go back and work Tuesdays.
Yeah, I mean, if I ever want to go back and work Tuesdays. Yeah. If we don't get another 10 coaching clients, I'm going to be back in Michigan, scuttling the oldest halfway house girl on the planet
with stubby legs. I'll be driving an Amazon truck here shortly.
That's why I had to wear such short shorts. So, so Becky, what is the thing that drives you most crazy about being married to a small business owner?
Say it. Say it.
Bring it.
We preached it. We're going through the same thing everybody else is, so just say it.
It would be nice to have a little more money coming in.
Yes, absolutely.
That's goal number one.
Flow.
Yes.
Goal number one of every business is cash flow.
It's the first year, so it's the first year.
Yep.
So
and we've got our first year expenses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
but we're getting really close.
Oh no,
we're getting there.
It's there.
Yeah.
It's right there.
I can taste it.
I did a one-to-one with somebody today, and we had never met. We just met on one of these virtual calls. You're welcome. And we set up a one-to-one, and this is like 3 weeks ago. So this today, and so we're talking, and I was, as you and I do, we're good networkers. So what can I be on the lookout for you for? She was talking about something she wanted to do, and she goes, well, let me get your opinion on this real quick. And so I gave her like, we're told give away the best, sell the rest, right? So I gave her like 11 minutes of gold on what to do. Got a return email. I like your stuff. Let's talk some more about that.
Nice.
So that's what I enjoy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, money's tight starting a business, folks. Everybody knows it, but it's for, unless you're, funded or you got, or you're a trust fund kid.
If
it's
you're
a
out
bitch.
there and you're interested in being an angel investor, we are now interviewing Apple.
If you'd like to make Becky and Scott very happier,
All right, Mike, this one's for you.
bring it on.
This is a question from our loyal listeners.
I will not sit on
Mike,
a fence.
Boxers or briefs?
Oh, briefs. Yeah. In different color briefs.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Scott, this one's for you.
Same question?
Nope.
Okay.
This is
I wanted
this
to
is
find
this is
out.
something that okay, boxers or briefs?
Actually, boxer briefs or commando.
Yes. Yeah, you do like to go commando.
Oh, I didn't know that was an option. Wait, both of us or just me and Al?
Mike uses that when the laundry's not done.
Yeah.
And the great debate question that our listeners are dying to know our opinion on
Marianne.
is
Oh,
what?
wrong question.
I agree.
Marianne.
Gilligan's
Oh,
Island.
Marianne.
Marianne. Yeah.
is
Me too.
a taco a sandwich?
No.
No?
No.
No?
No, it's not
No?
a sandwich.
Not even close. Not even in the
It's
family.
a carb with meat and cheese inside of it.
Nope.
Doesn't make it a sandwich.
Nope.
So
it's,
is the Instapot.
it's a taco.
Mac and cheese with meat is not a sandwich.
I think
It's
if
not
you-
inside each other.
If you took a piece of bread and you folded it in a U shape like a taco and put
Yeah.
food in it, I would think that's still a taco.
Okay.
Unless you
Yeah.
fold it
So-
over, unless you cut it in half and
we
put
need,
these
What
pieces
if-
we
together.
need
what if
better
I-
listeners.
Well, I think I could totally debate it that a taco is a sandwich, and I could.
No, not
No?
here.
Okay, is
Oh.
a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
Yes.
No,
No.
it is not.
No.
It is not. It's a hot dog.
It's a
not
kind of sandwich.
No, it's not.
No,
Yeah,
not
it
even the
is.
sandwich family.
Right. So you've heard, I think McDonald's started it.
So does a
Hamburger
sandwich-
sandwich is what it
does
was.
a
They don't
ham-
say hot dog sandwich.
So does a sandwich have to have deli meat on it?
No, but it has to have two pieces
So
of
is a
bread, one on the
hamburger a
top and one on the
sandwich?
bottom.
Yeah.
Yes. A hamburger,
A
is
hamburger
a
is
sandwich.
a sandwich.
Yes, it is.
But a
it's
hot
two
dog
pieces
is
of bread
not.
with stuff in there. Yeah.
A lot more than
Yeah.
hot
So is
dog.
a hot dog and so is a taco.
No. You don't. Do you put,
We
wait,
disagree.
Do you take a taco shell, the innards, and then a taco shell on top? Is that how you eat your tacos?
Yeah.
Because then it would be a
Because-
sandwich.
Yes, I do because I always,
That's a
especially
quesadilla.
if
That's
it's,
not a
if it's
sandwich.
if it's a hard taco, especially because I always break those MFs and have to stick them together like a little sandwich.
Eat it like Mike. He doesn't eat tacos. He just makes a salad and then he puts the
Sticks it all
Yeah.
together.
I
Yeah.
crumble up
And
the
then he
chips.
crumples up the
Yeah,
chip.
and just make a big old salad and bowl.
Taco salad.
You're so wrong. Next
Still not a
question.
sandwich.
Next
No.
question.
Tacos
Next
Tacos
question.
are not, I'm sorry, I'm from Texas. Tacos are not a sandwich.
And chili is
right.
not made with beans, people. For the last time.
Yes, it is.
No, it
No, it's
isn't.
not.
The
So what
beans
is
are
it called?
added.
What is it called if you make chili
Well,
with
chili
beans? in
without
it?
beans? No, but you add the beans later. You don't cook the beans in the chili.
Actual chili is cooked just as chili meat.
Yeah.
It's
All
just
right.
meat and sauce.
Just
Okay.
meat.
So this is a question that was originally slated for us, but I'm curious what our significant others think of
Me
this
too.
question. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if Mike and I had an unlimited budget, what kind of marketing would you have us do that we're not currently doing?
Faces on the side of
I
the
was
bus.
going to say the same thing. Bus faces for sure.
Bus faces.
Bus faces and coaches pants. Yep.
God, that's so wrong. on
I
many
love
levels.
it. I love it. Mike, if we had an unlimited budget, what kind of marketing would you have us do?
Oh, I'd ramp up social media and I would ramp up appearances if we had to pay to speak to people just to get out in front of people and develop relationships that way.
Once we're in front of
Yeah.
people, we're good.
We're good, yeah.
Yeah. we're
Unlimited
so good.
budget, I would say clone. Clone yourselves.
Yeah, Mike.
I don't know if the world
Scott,
wants to
oh my
second
God.
me, Scott. I appreciate the
Well,
thought, but
Scott would like us to to hire an assistant.
I have been lobbying for that for quite a
yeah.
while.
Yeah.
I don't want to second Mike, but
No.
I'll go for the
Yeah, the
assistant.
assistant would be
Yeah.
really good. Yeah.
That is every time that I'm stressed out or something's happening, Scott's like, so, if you had a personal assistant, this wouldn't be happening. And That's not really what your voice sounds like.
No,
but
not even close.
Yeah.
And Becky wants me to have an assistant so she can tell the assistant to tell me to do something. She doesn't have to talk to me. I know her well.
Would you tell your boss?
Yeah. Tell that asshole to shut up.
All right. So one of the other questions. So Kayla, who
We
is
like
another listener of ours.
Thank you, Kayla.
Thank you, Kayla. We appreciate you. She wants to know what mistakes are hardest to fix after a business owner makes them. I thought that was a great question.
That is from somebody so young. Mistakes. Probably something you didn't. Are you going to write down my answer? No. Okay. Probably something that you, financial mistake?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spend money that you can't get back.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm going to go back to my new favorite book, which is Profit First.
Yep.
And say that the main mistake that's hard to get over is if you're not paying yourself first and you're over investing in the business and not putting aside the money that you should be. Because it's really difficult to stop a cash bleed once you start it. Mm-hmm. So I think that that's what, and also hiring the wrong person is incredibly expensive.
And we've talked about this on podcasts before. You have to fire fast
Very fast.
and be done with it.
Yeah.
Because if you blink, we're going to work with them. We think they really want to do it. And then 3 months later, you're still.
It kills your culture.
Yep.
You're not getting the results that you should for the money that you're spending. There's no return on investment. And ultimately, that person is going to leave a way bigger crater than if you just, necked them out of there to begin with.
If you have to pay them a month to leave today, pay them a month.
Pay them a month. Get them out.
Yep.
Absolutely. Mike, what is your favorite industry or business type to work with?
The brand new ones. People who are just starting. I love that because my brother and I started a commercial cleaning company and a pest control company and just love the beginnings of it. And that's if I had a wheelhouse, it would be, and I would say probably 2.5, 3 years and younger, but love that starting out, the energy everybody has. That, I can do this. Okay. But let's strategically think through that, which I've learned a lot from you on that, but love that time frame of a business.
I like working with businesses or people who are learners. That are not know-it-alls and are really open to exploring what they could be better at or admitting that they have a process or system in place that isn't working. And I think that's super hard for a lot of people to do. So those people are rare, but I love working with them because they can we look at our coaching clients and the ones that are just growing by leaps and bounds are the ones that put their ego aside and said, hey, guess what? I need help. And I'm willing to admit that there's somebody else out there that is going to be able to either pull it out of me because I'm not doing it on my own yet, or teach me what I need to know to be able to do it.
And I think we've done a pretty good job of telling people up front, we are honest. It may hurt. And we ask a lot of questions because we have to get to the why. Why are you not doing that? Why do you not want to do that?
Well, one thing that you all do is you challenge them, but you give them homework. They have something that they have to do, and you all also have your homework. So you have something you have to do. That moves you forward.
Exactly.
And, I think a lot of coaches are, rah, yeah, I'm in your corner, but they're not demanding something of their clients, and you do that.
And we've heard that from previous clients. Well, the coaches I used to work with before, we talk about rah stuff, and at the end of the meeting, I'm like, well, I didn't learn anything.
It was a mush sesh, and then nothing ever actually came from it.
We're not always great. Yeah. Sometimes we stink at something.
That'd be like having a therapist that wants to be your friend.
Right.
Oh yeah, we've experienced that, and that, my dear, is because of the woo that we're strong
That
in.
was
I bet.
funny.
Yeah.
I don't know if Becky knows that story. If you could sum that up.
So basically, I've tried to have a series of therapists in my life, and within a matter of a couple of sessions, they flip from wanting to be a doctor that's actually helping me to trying to impress me and be my friend more than
Perfect.
And it's like, no, I don't need a friend. I've got plenty of those.
I'm not paying you for that.
So if there's a therapist out there that thinks that they can accept the challenge, contact us, info@wiredtochange.com. Because I would.
No, you're not going to follow them on Facebook.
No,
They're your
no. And then the very last question that came from one of our listeners, and I, for some reason, didn't write down who it was, so somebody out there can take credit
Did it
for
come
this
from
one.
other Scott? Because we have Scott and other Scott, and you two, we believe, are the only people other than us and Drago to have listened to every episode.
I have.
Yep.
You have.
And so is he.
I
So
listened to your most recent one this morning.
yeah, and other Scott admits he's about 3 shows behind, but he listens to a lot of podcasts.
I get it. I'm a bad wife. Thank you.
If you can put up with Mike on a daily basis, you're a great wife.
Thank you, Trinity.
Yes.
Smoking hot, too.
Yeah, Becky came in here and I was like, damn, Becky, your hair looks so good.
It does, doesn't it?
Right? Just looking sexy.
I am sleeping with the hottest grandma on the planet. Lucky
Oh, that is
Oh, yeah.
so sweet. I hope you get to say that about me someday.
Me too, baby.
Yep.
me. As the advice I give young people is practice, practice, practice.
We can do that.
If I leave you with nothing else,
This actually might have also been from Mike Allen, but I don't want to give him credit for it
No, I
because
don't
I didn't
either.
write it
I
down and I'm
refuse
not
to say
sure.
that name.
And, he's kind of an overachiever, so
Yeah.
just
He
knock him
tells us
down,
he is,
knock him
yeah.
down a peg. The next question is, what are your greatest hits of things that you find most of your clients need to change on day one?
probably rethinking the steps, what order those are in. And you know what? Let me take that back. Undoing the beliefs about themselves. Because once we get a month in or 2 months in, it's like, damn, look at all the stuff I'm doing. So probably just kind of undoing things, because we all think, oh, I'm not really good at that, or I didn't know I did that. And then somebody points it out to you. So probably just kind of rewiring them to know that, no, you're kind of pretty good at this.
Or you're not and you need to get out of business.
We haven't had that yet.
Not yet with Wired to Change, but I have had that happen
Yeah.
with past
Oh, yeah.
coaching clients.
You're going to, yeah.
Yeah.
You're
You
gonna
have
run
people
across
that
that.
you just find out that they're just not cut out to be in business.
Yeah.
I would say their relationship with money. So either that they are overspending or they are afraid of making money. So I see that a lot with sales professionals and business people, that they're scared. They don't feel worthy of the amount of money that they're charging. We have a client, one in particular that I can think of, that, when we were talking through what she was going to price herself at, she was way undervaluing herself.
Yes.
And it took a lot of sessions to get her to the point where she finally charged a client what she was worth. And she emailed us and was like, they said yes. And I was like, exactly, because you've been undercharging for the entire time you've been in business.
And then the fine print of that is, as you move down the road and get more confidence to do that, is it's kind of like selling a house. They didn't even flinch. We should have charged
Yep.
more. And she could have gotten $30 to $35 more an hour for what she's doing.
Yes.
And they probably would have taken that too.
Yep.
Yep.
So I would say that that's my greatest hits. That and not having a contingency plan. And what I mean by that is not a contingency plan to get out of business, but a contingency plan for if something isn't working, to go back and review it and figure out why.
But
And
again,
to
you
be
gotta
willing
get
to
the
pivot
why.
and to change. Yes. So you're right. Getting to the why is super important.
Yep.
though I think that was all of our listener questions.
Okay, at least Kayla's question was good.
Yeah, good job, Kayla. I don't know who asked about the taco sandwich, but
Mike.
it is now a taco sandwich.
It is not a taco
It's
sandwich.
not a taco sandwich.
You may stand on your island of one alone.
Yes. Mexican sandwich is called a torta, which is bread.
You know what
Yeah.
that look on her face is? Damn it, I just learned something and he sounds right.
I am right.
I hate when he sounds right. I don't know if he is, but he sounds right with that.
So, spouses, we really appreciate you
Yes.
guys hanging in there with us as we do our thing, and we're gone every Thursday to record our podcast. We're so excited that you guys are here to celebrate episode 100. My question to you now that my loyal listener and my loyal listenerette, what is the theme or topic that you would like to hear on a future episode?
I think it would be interesting to have some sort of roundtable discussion, right?
What about a square table discussion?
Well, this table's rectangle, so you
Yeah.
have to move into a different room. But yeah, what I think it would be interesting to have a bunch of different people's point of view, as opposed to having one or two particular guests and talk about them. I would be interested in you guys dropping a topic and then letting people kind of
Bat it around.
yeah. I think that would be interesting.
I like that.
I have to think about how that would work on a podcast, because it becomes hard to know whose voice is whose. But
Yeah.
that could be one that we do visually, and we could do it and post it on YouTube for people to watch.
Yeah. Or they
Okay.
can just hold up a sign
Yeah.
with their name
Yeah.
on radio.
Now, I'd
Right.
also like to see. I think it would be interesting with the questions. This is, brought it up when you came with all the questions today. Would be able to get the actual the people asking the question to ask the question, record themselves asking the question. You guys can post
Ooh,
it.
like on NPR?
Yeah. So then you're answering the question based on that person asking the question instead of you reading it off. I think that would be
I
cool
think
too.
you just gave Mike more work to do for editing.
You're welcome.
And I don't mind doing that if Drago can show me how we set it up on our website for people to leave a question. But hey, we need to have our Wired to Change, Wait, Don't Tell segment.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
Love that on NPR.
Yes, we do. What about you, Becky?
Oh gosh, I don't know. How do you combine the martini one with this?
Yeah.
Oh, well, this
That's
is
gonna
a
be a
start.
great
Sitting
podcast.
here with a bottle of champagne is definitely a start, but
Anything that has to do with
Oh,
drinking.
we can talk
I'm all
first
about it.
couple dates. I'd go there in a heartbeat for a half hour. Yeah, because we saw the first one so different. So different.
oh wait, what was the question that I
No,
was
we
supposed
didn't,
to
did
ask
we?
Becky about you?
that when she, back in the day before we're married, we all have a list of things our future spouse has to have.
Yeah.
Ask her what number one
What was your number one?
He has to be able to dance.
Oh,
I'm out.
ouch.
Mike can't keep a beat. He
No.
can't find the beat.
I can't find
he
it,
could.
yeah.
He couldn't. If he found the beat, he couldn't carry it in a bucket. It just isn't there.
I
Bless
feel you,
his
Mike.
heart.
These hips
And-
don't lie. They
But
can't
no,
find it.
when I was have to dance because that was what I did. That's
The gang.
Anytime
Dancing
you want to
all
go
the
out and go dancing, you've got my number, and
Thank
I would love to
you.
go dancing with you.
The gang we ran with in Austin, Texas, where we met, our friend Brad Brad had to be there if we were going out because she needed somebody to dance
He
with.
was
Brad
my
danced
dan-
all night
he was
long.
my dance
and he was
partner,
good
so.
too. Yeah.
I'm happy to go dancing. I'm just going to be standing at the bar drinking, watching you guys dance.
That's
what he does.
90% of the time.
That's what he said.
Until he works up the courage, comes out on the dance floor, and just cuts a rug.
Well, yeah, once you've had enough drinks, then I don't care anymore. I can go out there and make
Not
a
even
complete
there, yeah.
fool of myself.
I don't think there's enough alcohol for mine.
The only thing I told Becky, well, two things I tell her about dancing. One is I love watching her dance. Love watching her hips move when she dances. And second of all, I slow dance with my hands. Just deal with it.
That is true.
And on that note, it has been a ton of fun having both of you as guests again. We have Becky and Scott here with us, our spouses, the ones that put up with us on our best days and our worst days. And we're going to
Cheers.
raise a glass
Yep.
and cheers to the supportive people
Yep.
that
Thank
help
you,
make
thank you.
this podcast possible. Drago, we are thinking about you in there on the soundboard, mixing this up for us. And we appreciate you and everything you do for us here at Purple Comma. And if you want to find us, if you want to send us a question, you can email us, info@wiredtochange.com. That's with the number 2. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Mike occasionally might even put out a tweet.
I do sometimes. And if you'll go to our website, wiredtochange.com, check out our mastermind group that starts September 24th. There are seats that were purchased today, we found out. So there's only a few left. So go on there and reserve your seat. We're focusing on sales and marketing for 6 weeks. It will be a good thing.
And it's going to be fun. We're going to learn a lot, and we're going to teach a lot.
Yes, we are.
And of course, if you hear of anybody that needs coaching, Mike will put on the shorts at some point and pull out the whistle.
Depends
and
on if I see your face
eventually
on the side
my
of a real
face
bus.
will be on the side of a real bus.
Okay,
Yes.
deal. I got it.
Well, we've had a lot of fun today, and we appreciate you all, love you all, and we hope to see you next time on our Wired to Change podcast.